Are you confused about home inspection credits? Remember, there's a home inspection as a home buyer, or if you're on the seller side where the buyer is going to do a home inspection, find out all the things that are potentially wrong with the property. And then after that, there's a negotiation phase where the home buyer is going to request that certain things either be repaired or that they get a credit for said repairs. So what I want to tell you today is how to negotiate home inspection credits as a home buyer or seller. And when I tell you this, negotiate is the key word. Your job when you're in this, look, you've already agreed on a contract in whatever state you're in, you're past that portion and you're going to inspection. So you have a contract that's holding it. Some states you're doing inspections a little bit before, but you have a letter of intent agreement. Either way, you believe you have a deal. That's why both you're doing a home inspection. The buyer's doing it and the seller's going to receive the information. Again, this isn't a non-as-is transaction where you're doing a normal home inspection, but you've agreed. So what you have to do after this is negotiate. And part of negotiation is staying reasonable in real estate. Because if you mess up the deal just because of bad negotiation, you're going to go back to the drawing board. And in a hot market, you don't want to go back to the drawing board, do you? Major issues that you can't agree on, no problem. The cancellation of the contract is just going to happen sometimes. When both parties can't agree, or one party really feels strongly about something and the other doesn't, it's just not going to work out. But let's talk about the things that maybe should get credited and should not. In general, a lot of us are putting limiting language, which means we're not looking for cosmetic things. You're not getting credit because your door handle is messed up or the curtains are broken or something minor. Nobody cares about that stuff. You're not buying new houses in most cases. And if you are buying a new house, those things will be contained on a punch list, not necessarily a home inspection report. So sometimes home buyers get a little crazy and they're buying a 1920s house and they expect everything to be perfect. That's just not how it works. So cosmetically, that's really going to be on the buyer to fix afterwards. If you don't like the way something is, just fix it later. You're going to put your own spin on it anyway. Let's take a side note on appliances and major mechanicals. In general, if something is working in the house, you're not getting a credit for it. Even if it's near end of life, you're not getting a credit for it because it's working. It's like if a roof has no leaks and it's old, how can you ask for a credit for it? It may get a leak sometime, but nobody knows. So why would a seller be responsible for giving you a credit for something that works or for something being old? That's just the way it is. I mean, a furnace that is like 60 years old, still, if it's working correctly, you're probably just going to have to accept that. You can bake that into your price, but you can't expect a home seller to credit you for things that are working. If the HVAC system is old and it's working perfectly, you're just going to have to wait for it to break. This is just how it goes. Hot water heater is the same. Anything like that, as long as it's in good working order, you're not getting a credit for it. There are certain things, at least in the state of New Jersey, that you should always get a credit for, and that it can really put a seller in a bind if you find these things, because they're going to have to disclose it once you tell them, and then they're going to have to go back on the market and the same thing's going to happen again. So that's one thing to remember. If you're a home seller and a home buyer does a full inspection and there's things that you don't want to do and you cancel the contract, the next buyer is going to do a home inspection also and find the same things. It's not like the home inspectors are going to find a bunch of different stuff. It's pretty standard. So whatever you're doing, it's always in both parties' best interest to try to negotiate the home inspections on the first deal. Because if not, also remember, as a home seller, it looks bad. If you cancel the contract, if the contract gets canceled in about 10 days, all of us on the buyer side know that they went to home inspection, there was an issue. We're not sure who was being unreasonable, but the issue happened at home inspection. That's going to make new buyers weary of your property, and they're going to have an extra eagle eye looking for things that might be wrong when they get to their home inspection. This is why home sellers need to relax. Even when you have leverage as a seller, we've seen people arguing over $1,000 on a $900,000 sale. Like, really? It's just $1,000. Just agree. It doesn't make any difference. Like you're buying a $900,000 home and you're fighting over $500. That doesn't make any sense. You don't want to go back to the drawing board once you have it in the hopper. And remember, if you had backup offers, they may not be there anymore. You have to make a good decision on the first one. Some other things to think about as a home buyer. When you're making your requests, at least for us on our team at Streamline Properties on Market, brokered by eXp Realty, I'm the team leader, by the way, Jonathan Green. I've been doing this for a long time. I've looked over thousands of home inspection reports, and I want to give you a little advice as a home buyer and then as a home seller in terms of like what you should be looking for. You should be making a short list of very important major items. Environmental hazards like mold, like real mold. That means black mold, not like a little mold in a bathroom. That is in all bathrooms, especially in like multifamilies that haven't been well taken care of. Asbestos on pipes, that's going to probably come out. Asbestos flooring, that's a different type of asbestos. There's lots and lots of different things that you need to look for. Oil tanks underground, those are always going to get credited in New Jersey to the seller. And if not, we're not even going to make the offer on the property for you. Broken septic systems, we're finding a lot in the outer regions of New Jersey. A seller is going to be responsible because you can't even transfer the home with a broken septic system. Towns are not going to allow that anymore. So buyers do have leverage if you're finding major things, but you lose your leverage when you ask for like ticky-tack stuff. You want to just focus on the major things, come to an agreement, move forward, close the transaction. On the seller side, don't get too hopped up like you have all the control, because there's certain things that come up on a home inspection that are your responsibility. And you're going to have to fix, because no matter what, like I said, the next buyer is going to come and find the same things. And if your only hope as a home seller is that the next buyer either misses it or chooses not to do it, that is not a great way to do it. Look, you don't want to try to hope that everybody's going to miss things that are wrong with your house. You just want to focus on having a reasonable arm's length transaction and making it a negotiable issue. It's very easy to negotiate if both sides are reasonable. Someone says, hey, I really like $5 grand for all this, and then you don't have to repair anything. Someone says, we'll give you $2,500, and then you just agree at whatever, $3,750. Great. Both sides are happy. I don't know why people get so crazy in it. I do when there's unreasonable things that happen, but look, sometimes these things are just no-brainers. So I hope this has been helpful. This is how you can negotiate home inspection repairs on both sides. And in the end, all I want to tell you, if you want to get through the transaction, be reasonable. You don't have to be a sucker and give in to everything, but you really need to take the advice of your real estate agent, especially ones that know a lot and have been through thousands of home inspections, and your attorney if you're an attorney state. But remember, the attorney is not at the home inspection. So do not rely on your attorney to tell you what to do with home inspection things. They didn't even see the property. Your real estate agent is the one who goes with you to the home inspection, and you're going to rely on their expertise to help you through it. At least that's what we do on our team. I hope this has been helpful. Have a great day.